Hello and welcome to See You Live. I'm Susan Post, Associate Editor of Columbus Underground. And I have with me co-founder Walker Evans.
Hi.
End of the year, so we're running down some of the biggest stories from 2019, starting with the 10 stories or kind of 10 topics that were the most well read on the site this year.
Yeah.
And Walker's going to kick us off with number 10.
Yeah, number 10 was the announcement fairly recently about Adventure Cove, the new addition at the Columbus Zoo. This has been in the works pretty much all year, and it's coming in May of 2020. It looks really cool. Some underwater
Super excited.
walkways that you can kind of go under. And
It's
see.
sea lions and seals primarily.
Yeah, seated right in between Zambezi Bay and the Columbus Zoo.
So that's going to be really exciting. Number 9 was the Moody Nolan Legacy House over in Linden. I actually got to go take photos and check that out when it was finished, and it looks great. I think it's about 750 square feet, and a family was going to be living there. And not only did they build the house, they totally stocked it with furniture, food, clothing, everything that family needed to kind of get off the ground. It's really, cool. Really interesting design, especially for that neighborhood. And I know they hope that's the first of many of this type of project.
It was actually number 3 on our best architecture of the year list too. So the community recognized the architectural style.
It has a really cool porch. I like the porch.
Number 8 on the list was an article that Brent Warren wrote earlier this year about the future of the continent. It was built, late 70s, early 80s. So it was kind of ahead of its time as a mixed-use development, shopping, retail, movie theater, apartments. But it wasn't, I guess, really built to last. It was eclipsed by other, places like Easton. So the current owner of it told us that they're exploring alternative plans for the site. They didn't have any other details beyond that, but we're going to keep watching that in the near future. Yeah,
and I didn't really know much about the continent, so I found that really fascinating to hear a little bit more of the backstory and what a hotspot it used to be.
Yeah.
Clocking in at number 7, had a large development proposed for Whittier Peninsula, another pretty recent announcement. Large-scale developments tend to get a lot of attention. So this would be on the 17 acres of land between the Scioto Audubon Metro Park and the railroad tracks. Mixed-use development, they said it could take about 10 to 15 years to build out the whole site. And it might include about a 30-story tower. So
yeah, really stunning visuals. I think that always gets people's attention when they have really nice renderings that kind of show something like that off.
A lot of updates to come on that.
Yep. Number 6 on the list was the announcement of Urban Meyer's Pint House coming to Bridge Park in Dublin. A lot of the Bridge Park announcements have gotten a lot of attention as those have rolled out over the last couple of years. I think this one was particularly interesting, one, because Pint House seems very unique to the Short North, so for that, going to Dublin, people were really interested in hearing more about that. And then, of course, Urban Meyer. OSU, football. It's open now, and I've heard it's crazy popular, super busy. So,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So kudos to them. Rolling in at number 5, another large-scale development. The plan was revealed for the first phase of the Scioto Peninsula development. Another thing that's going to be happening in phases, as for phase 1, it's going to be the center 6 acres. It's going to have 2 hotels, a residential building, an office building, a few more residential buildings, and a parking garage. And I know there's been a few changes as far as the development partners for that, but things are on track for phase 1 now, hoping to be completed in summer 2022.
Nice. Yeah, probably groundbreaking next year, I believe. Yeah. Number 4 on the list was kind of a combined listing of some of our best of contests throughout the year. We're doing a lot of roundup stuff at the end of the year, but throughout the year we like to do some best ofs and let people vote and nominate things and give out some prizes and stuff like that. And so the 2 really big ones we did this year were best tacos and best pizza.
Yep.
So we have those lists. There'll be links to all of these stories in the link below this video, but those are really controversial.
Right.
They
always generate a lot of fun debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, maybe you find new places to try. You never know.
And argue about your favorite number 1.
Good times. Number 3 was the project update of the Easton expansion. That particular article had a lot of really cool photos of some of that varied architecture that's gone into that space. It definitely doesn't look the same as a lot of Easton. And then some of the first tenants have finally started to open in that expansion. You've got RH Gallery, Forbidden Root. I think Ivan Kane 40 Deuce opens soon, tonight perhaps.
I think they're having a New Year's party.
Yeah. So definitely a lot more news to come out of there.
Number 2 on the list was the announcement of the first set of tenants at the North Market in Dublin, again at Birch Park. As I mentioned, Birch Park announcements have always been pretty widely received on the site. So they announced they're having a seafood purveyor called Coastal Local. Farmer's Daughter is another vendor. Momogar will be opening another location there. Dough Mama will have a bakery, and then the North Market itself will have kind of a bar that functions for the whole site. So I think they're on track for like a May, June opening. I think they're trying to open around the Memorial Tournament. So it'll be exciting to see more of those vendor announcements over the next few months.
Definitely. I think it's really interesting how they're, kind of trying to recreate that sort of Columbus institution up in Dublin. So.
Yeah.
And the number 1 most well-read articles all focused on restaurant closures.
Big surprise.
Right? So especially kind of late summer, early fall, we had sort of a wave of different closures of things rolling in. And the most well-read article of the year was a trio of restaurant closures that included Fuzzy's Tacos, Red Velvet, and Belgianaire and Waffle Co.
Yeah.
So, I mean, restaurants closed for all kinds of reasons. We talked about that a little bit in a previous video about some of the spots that have closed this year. So I think people are always really curious, but we don't always know full picture, real reason why things close. But you guys sure were interested.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. It was really fun to put these lists together.
Yeah. If you want to see all the articles that we just talked about, be sure to check out the links below.